going on, folks? I'm Femi the Agent.
Femi the Realtor.
And here we are on another episode of Sneakers and Real Estate, two of my favorite things that I love to talk about. If you guys follow us, you know that we both love sneakers. We love to wear them. We love to collect them. The ones that we buy, we don't wear. We end up getting rid of them at some point. But today, I want to talk about the Jordan 1s, the Spidermans. This to me, there's a lot of mixed reviews on these. I like them personally. I mean, if you're someone that loves the ones, this to me I think is a great shoe to have in your arsenal. If you're a big Chicago ones fan, then you definitely need to get these. I mean, you could get them for less than half the price of what the Chicagos are going for. But the material on this, the execution for me, I think is pretty dope, and a dope collaboration that Brand Jordan did with Marvel and Spider-Man. I think is a really dope shoe. When you see the movie, you'll understand it a little bit more as far as like the color schemes and some of the different things that they did with the shoe. But what's really dope about this shoe, I actually just came back from Jamaica. I actually took these down there. So I think this is a shoe that actually needs to touch some foreign soil. The bottom of these they glow in the dark, which is really cool. You have the patent leather here. You have the white toe box. You also have the patent leather swoosh. So, like I said, to me, it's a really dope shoe. There's a lot of mixed reviews about these, but for me personally, I think it's a great shoe to have. I mean, there's a few things that I don't like about them. The tongue, to me, seems a little stiff compared to a lot of the other ones. But overall, I think it's a dope shoe to have. They do crease very easily, so I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. Not like some of the other ones. I only wore these once, and I already it's already been creased up here. So this, I think, maybe a showpiece or just something that you get as a conversation starter, but you definitely need a pair of these in your life. I'm not going to spend too much time on the shoes because we do have an esteemed guest today, one of the biggest when you talk about networking and real estate mixes. We'll get to that in a second. My son wants to talk about some real estate stuff.
Yeah, so what's going on with the market right now for 30-year mortgages, the rates are a little bit over 7 right now. For 15-year, almost 7. And for ARM, a little bit over 7 as well. For the 30-year, FHA and VA loans are a little bit over 6.5, just right over 6.5. So still not the worst time to buy. A lot of people are obviously taking advantage of the summer. They have more freedom to move around, kids out of school, stuff like that. So it's definitely still a great time to buy as well. If you're looking for that perfect home, you never want to sit on your feet and wait too long. You can start building some equity and stuff like that, and instead of renting and paying off somebody else's house, somebody else's mortgage, giving them passive income, you could be working towards something of your own. So that's definitely something you want to take full advantage of right now, while you have the time and freedom still, like I said, to move around while, maybe your kids are out of school or some other stuff like that. So.
Vacation time.
Definitely.
So now definitely is a good time for that. And, just like my son said, right now, folks, I mean, with the real estate market, there's one of two things that's going to happen. You're either going to be paying your mortgage or you're going to be paying your landlord's mortgage. So you got to look at it and see what makes the most sense to you. You're buying a house, it's not a pair of sneakers, it's not a pair of jeans. So you plan on being there for a long time. So never worry about feeling like you're overpaying for a property. Just know that you need to get in, you need to get your feet wet, and just get yourself going when it comes to real estate. I mean, anybody that knows me knows that when I bought my first house, the rates at that point was 6%. And due to the fact that I didn't fit a typical mold of a typical buyer, they gave me 8.75. I didn't complain about it. I did what I had to do. I got into the house. Waited 6 months, and then I refinanced to 5.75. So always know that there's always, peaks and valleys when it comes to real estate, when it comes to the interest rates. Just do yourself a favor and just jump in. Don't sit there and listen to the naysayers or listen to people that have nothing to do with that end result. Because at the end of the day, it's about your family, it's about their wellness, it's about their peace of mind. So you have to figure out what that's really worth to you. And that's really, what we have to say about that. But today, like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on real estate and sneakers. We have an esteemed guest here, someone that I've been, watching from a distance, someone that I admire, have a lot of respect for. And I've gone to a couple of his events, which is why I needed to sit down and just have a conversation with him, because every time when I went out somewhere, I was at a Malik Yoba event by Dumbo, by the Brooklyn Bridge. I run into this guy here. I go to another event somewhere else, I run into him. So he's always out and about, and he's doing a lot of different things. So we want to welcome Curtis Quail from Corcoran Group to Sneakers and Real Estate.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I also want to share a little bit about with the mortgages. At the end of the day, if you work a 9 to 5 and you're paying rent, you're losing money because you're paying taxes.
That's true.
So at the end of the day, if you could afford a house in this market, think of it as a cushion to alleviate some of those tax breaks as you get, throughout time. That's just, my little nugget. So
Curtis is here to drop a lot of gems, folks. He does a lot of different things, so I'm glad that he said that because, with our audience, our goal is to try to educate people as much as possible. And you hear a lot of different things. There's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of misinformation. There's too much information. So you always have to look at it as what's best for you and for whatever your situation is, and make a decision based on that. So back to you, Mr. Quail.
Yeah.
The real estate broker, the real estate networking guru. For those who don't know you and those that have been living under a rock, who is Curtis Quail?
So again, my name is Curtis Quail. I'm a licensed real estate broker at the Corcoran Group. I'm the CEO and founder of the New York Real Estate Mixer, and an event coordinator, also a homeowner myself. Daughter's 19, college.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really about it in a nutshell.
Yeah. How long have you been doing real estate?
So I got my license 10 years ago.
Oh wow, okay.
10 years ago, and I just got my broker's license about a couple months ago.
Congrats. Congrats. How do you see the market now compared to when you started 10 years ago?
Well, back then, let me see, 10 years ago, I was 26. So I bought a house in a 2-family for $440. Wow. In East New York.
Nice. I used to live in East New York. I lived on Vermont between Hegeman and Newlots.
Right.
Yeah.
Hegeman and New Jersey Avenue, right there.
Nice. I used to work at that McDonald's up the block on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Pennsylvania Avenue?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Now they got a Chipotle.
Yeah.
They got a Chipotle
right down the corner. Right.
Pennsylvania, yep. Pennsylvania, and what was it? Pennsylvania and
Linden.
And Linden.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and then now the market, just to show you how the market is, I bought a house 10 years ago, a 2-family for $440. I put a 2-family in East New York in contract for like 1.1. So that just kind of tells you,
where the market is, where the market is going,
the
different things that's happening, all the appreciation, folks, that you could be getting.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that just tells you there was a big turnaround.
Nice. Where are you from? Where's your family from?
So
where's your background?
My mother's from Venezuela and my dad's from Trinidad, but I was born and raised in Brooklyn.
Okay. What part?
They call it PLG, for Prospect Lefferts Garden, but it's East Flatbush. Yeah,
right.
Right, East Flatbush.
Well, every area now has a new name.
Right.
When I went to Ditmas Junior High School, it was Ditmas Park. Now I don't know what the name of it is now, but
they got Windsor Terrace now. Yeah. They got what is it? What's another name? They got Midwood was always around.
Midwood was always around. That's true.
What's the new name? Prospect Lefferts Garden's a new name. Carroll Gardens. I never heard of Carroll Gardens before.
Yeah. East Flatbush.
Same thing.
Right. Right. So what would be, I guess, your advice for people that are looking to, I guess, get into the real estate market, that are looking to buy, that are thinking about, that kind of on the fence because of where the interest, as a buyer, where the interest rates are?
So I would say for buyers, man, you got to be a little bit more creative and you got to think outside the box. You have to know that you have to realize, you have to be real with yourself, whether if this is going to be your dream home or this is just going to be your first home. Right. Because a lot of people fall in love with buying, their first house has to be this dream house where, they want backyard and garage and, 10-foot ceilings and, all the glamour.
Right.
But if you know that this is not your first home or this is not your dream home and you just want to get like an investment property, then you have to look at it from a different lens.
Right.
But if you're looking for that dream home, then you might have to go a little bit out of your location.
Your comfort zone.
Your comfort zone. So those are the real questions that you have to ask yourself. And normally I tell people, if you're in your late 20s or your mid 30s, more than likely this might not be your dream home. You know, you're gonna buy a second home in the future.
It's
so,
true.
you know, use this as a stepping stone first.
Get started.
To get started, build some equity, you know, save some money on taxes, and then you can buy that dream home in a couple of years. So that's the conversations I usually have with buyers. You know, that's my advice for buyers.
I mean, it makes sense. You know, I always try to tell people the same thing. You know, I bought my first house when I was 28. A month, well, 2 months after being licensed. Actually, 3 months after being licensed, I closed on it, and then got laid off from work.
Wow.
So I've seen all parts of the spectrum, but for me, it wasn't my dream home, but it was in an area that I wanted to be in.
Right.
It was 4 of us living in the house. My son was just born. The house only had 1 bathroom. We had a basement that was unfinished, but for me, it was about that location.
Right.
It was a starter because.
You still own that home?
No, we ended up selling it 4 years later for almost $250,000 more than what we paid for
Do
it.
you regret it?
No, I don't regret it at all. I always feel like you said, you always have to start off somewhere.
Right.
And it doesn't always have to be the end all be all, but it has to be a start.
Yeah.
So you always have to start off from somewhere. And I never looked at it as it was ever going to be my dream home, but I know that I needed to get started somewhere, as opposed to paying my landlord's mortgage.
Correct.
Who now actually lives around the corner from me because I sold my landlord a house around the corner from
see?
me, based on the fact that we were good. I
Kept
kept great relationship with him, great rapport. But you always have to get started somewhere. So I always try to tell people, like you said, financially, if you're not in the position to start off with that dream home, you always have to start off somewhere. Start off somewhere, build the equity, like you said, get used to just being a homeowner, get used to some of the different bills that you have to pay, just a lot of the different things that you have to do now. Get your feet wet so that you can kind of, you know, get a feel for it. And then even if it's not your dream home, it's, you know, you stay there for a few years and then you can always step up. You can always level up.
Yeah.
And it makes it easy for you to, right?
And that's what I did. Like when I bought my first home, it was an FHA, 3.5% down.
Right.
Me and my brother, we used both our incomes.
Nice.
We lived in the basement and we rented the first floor and second floor. We did
Smart.
that for several years. We built some money, took some money out, started my real estate career.
Nice.
Then my brother bought his condo.
Nice.
Me and my mom got their house.
Nice.
And we still have the house to this day.
Oh, wow, nice.
You know, take some money out of that, get a second mortgage, and just keep it going.
Nice. And you bought that house how many years ago?
Which one?
Your first one?
Right, this was like 10
years ago.
26 years old when I started
okay.
real estate. Yeah.
Okay. Do you regret it?
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell no. It saved me a lot. I moved out, came back, moved back out again.
Right.
You know?
You were able to get just to, I think, navigate, like you said, navigate the market. Because I think for a lot of us, and this is no knock on any agents, but you can't be, for me, if you're in the market and you're dealing with buyers and sellers all the time, if you're not a homeowner yourself,
it's true.
which is no knock on anybody.
Right.
Everybody has a different lane that they're trying to go, but I think just as a homeowner, it makes it easier for you to have that conversation with people because you can share your own experiences.
Correct.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So the thing that you've been doing now with the real estate mixer, how did that even come about?
So I get this question asked a lot. So, you know, before I even did that, I used to throw parties back in the day. I used to throw a lot of parties. So I've been doing parties for like over, I think I want to say 16 years,
oh, wow,
18
okay.
years.
Okay.
Back in 2000, I think I threw my first party was in 2008.
Oh, wow,
It was
okay.
my first party.
Nice.
But when I got into
When the market was crashing?
Yeah.
You weren't in real estate yet, right?
No.
Okay.
No. I just wanted to just party, have a good time, you know.
As you should at that time.
Yep. And then I think once I got into real estate, I wanted to find a way where I could bring home buyers together, like a home buying seminar.
Right.
So I started off doing these home buying seminars, and what I noticed, you know, I probably had like maybe 10 people, 15 people come. And I was doing this monthly. And then I noticed brokers used to come in, bankers used to come in,
Nice.
and attorneys used to come in.
Right.
So I'm like, it's 2 ways I could pivot this, whether I can make it only for just home buyers and just keep out the agents and brokers and just keep it like that, or look at it from a different lens and see something bigger than myself and just another business.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? This could be turned into a networking event. So people to come to network and to talk and to share ideas and to build their resources. And then it just went from like 20 people to like 90 people to 100 to 200 people a month.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's just consistent.
And where was like, I guess one of the first locations where you were doing your events?
The first location I did it at was at the Lion's Den. It was a small venue on Clawson and Fulton Street.
Oh, okay.
And then I took it to 333 Lounge on Flatbush Avenue, right by what was it called? Right by what is that place called? Where they have the grits, the chicken and waffles, right on the corner. What was that? What's that called?
I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
But
Yeah.
333 Lounge. I started at I did the next one at 333 Lounge, and ever since then, I did it from there, and I did it at what was it, Gotham Market, and I did it from Gotham Market. I took it to Tillery Hotel.
Nice.
Then I did it at the Tillery Hotel. I took it to Manhattan for a little bit.
You did? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then when the pandemic crashed, when the pandemic hit,
When it hit, right.
Everything kind of went
Shut
down,
down, right.
and then I relaunched it at this new venue, the condominium building,
550 Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah. And you've been at 550 Vanderbilt now for how long?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Wow.
Every
Okay.
month.
Every
single
month, consistently for the last 2 years.
Every single month. Yep, rain, seen, or snow. Every month.
Wow. Yeah, because that's where we actually met.
Oh, we met?
Because Crystal told me, Crystal Young, shout out to Crystal Young.
One of my sponsors,
Great
Crystal Young.
real estate attorney. She does a lot for me. When you need a knowledgeable real estate attorney, somebody that looks like us, she's definitely the person you want to talk to. So I do a lot with Crystal, and she had been telling me about the event. Come out. Because I'm born and raised in Brooklyn. I'm in Brooklyn like 2 or 3 times a week because I still do business down here.
Okay.
So she was telling me about it, and I'm a season ticket holder
At the Nets?
At the Nets. So me and my son, we're there all the time. So she had told me about the event, but so many different things going on. You miss it, and I'm like, you know what? I need to go check out the event. Yeah. And I went there, and I was just blown away. I think with the amount of people that you had there, the type of atmosphere that you had there, because you and I both know we go to a lot of different networking events, and a lot of them are not really well put together,
right.
And just a bunch of sometimes nonsense, but the way that your events are put together and the type of professionals that you had in there, I'm like, he's really on to something, and he has a good thing going. So that's why I wanted to just sit down and just chop it up with you and talk about just some of the different things that you're doing and just the way that you have your events running. It's dope.
I mean, the good thing too, man, I do have a strong staff behind me that supports the events.
Nice.
We do try to create an environment for new agents, because remember, we started off as a home buying seminar,
right?
But now we tweaked it a little bit, so it's like we made it like a home base for agents to feel comfortable to come here to network and to also be around seasoned agents and seasoned brokers like yourself,
right?
Because it's hard to be. We all know real estate is a hard industry to be in.
It definitely
because,
is.
When you're working for yourself and you deal with so many buyers and it's oversaturated with other agents, it's hard. So I felt like creating that atmosphere where it's okay for people to come with your questions, come with your pen and paper, come with your business cards. Right. I wanted to create an atmosphere where people don't feel intimidated.
Right.
Because that's what I usually get. It's like, oh my God, I don't got my license. Should I come to the event? I said, no, you should come to the event because you're gonna meet different brokers and different real estate professionals in the industry. Because once you start off as an agent, you need a Crystal Young, you need a Jack Lay Gathers who's a home inspector, you need a
Kevin Spann,
a Kevin Spann,
insurance
guy. So you need those and remember, all these people I'm mentioning are seasoned. They've been in business for over 20 plus years.
Right.
So they're going to welcome you with open arms to hear what you have to say. Because at the end of the day, real estate and just networking is a revolving door. You have to meet new people. You have to meet that new person. And you only do business with who you like and who you trust. So,
but you know what it is, because I think for a lot of us, like you said, when you've been in the business, I'm 21 years in.
Right.
There are people that I see that have listings that I would never ever try to show their listing, and I don't want to do any business with.
Right.
Unfortunately, because your name and your reputation precedes you.
Correct.
But then you have the ones that you can do a deal with, and you and I can have a conversation, and based on our conversation, we can put that deal together just right then and there, like you said, on the spot.
I've seen so many deals happen at the Mixer. I've seen so many agents go to different firms at the Mixer.
Right.
I've seen so many people do that.
Right.
Because it's just, at the end of the day, it's who you connect with, and at the end of the day, you need that fresh air of, you know what, I could trust this person. You know what, this person is thinking just like me. You know what, I needed to see this person.
Right.
But you would have never known that if you
didn't come out.
If you didn't come out. You know, and I tell people that all the time. You're one contact away from your next deal. I always say that. That's like my. If that's one of the name jobs.
Talk about it,
if
please.
If that's one of the quotes, you're one contact away from your next deal. Always remember that. So you just never know who's to the left of you, who's to the right of you. You don't know who's at that networking event. You just never know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so like with the mixer, what's like the end goal, or like what's something that you project like you want to do?
I do want to make it. I do want to. I do want to magnify it. I do want to put on a bigger scale, where I could take it to different states. I do see that, but I just want to let it grow organically. I don't want to like force it. I don't want to force, because usually when you try to force something, then you lose the entity, or you lose the identity
of what it,
of
the reason of why you put it together.
Because a lot of people want me to charge. That's the next one. People are, hey Curtis, why are you not charging? I'm like, I don't want to charge for these events, because
that wasn't the reason that you got into it.
That's the reason why I got into it.
Right.
I have my sponsors that back me, because that help me support it for the expenses and just to keep it running.
Right.
And I appreciate them. But to lose that side of like charging people at the door, I don't want to do that. So I just want to figure a way to how to make it bigger, but still keep the essence of keeping people that are new, or people that just want to switch firms or looking for somebody new to come in.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think just the way that you have it set up, I think is pretty cool and pretty dope, like you said, where everybody can come in and just network. And I think for you, anybody, and I said that to you off camera, 550 Vanderbilt, I didn't know of. I associate that building now with Curtis Quail, with the mixer. And like I said, I'm in Brooklyn a lot. I'm right down the road. You guys know I'm always at we're always at the Nets games. But just the organic way that you have it, and for agents, like you said, a new agent to be able to come in and talk to somebody that's seasoned, people that are seasoned to be able to talk to, just some of the newer agents. I think it's just a dope mesh and it's a good synergy. I think just the way that you have it. As far as the charging part of it, like you said, everybody, I think the part of the business for me that you kind of lose certain things is like, you'll go to someone's page, or you'll try to have a conversation with someone, and everything for them is, let me monetize this, let me monetize
Correct.
that. And I understand what you're doing. I don't knock what anybody does, but for me and like somebody like Jude, shout out to Jude Bernard, you'll talk to people like that, and for them it's not about me trying to sell you an ebook or try to sell you something. Right. It's about me just being who I am. And like you said, you put this together because it was something, just a genuine thing that you wanted to do to help out others, and your way of looking at it is something like that is always going to come back. It'll come back tenfold to you. Right,
and it has. I'm not going to lie. Like people, a lot of people that support me, they see the bigger picture. They see like, listen, I like what you're doing because it's a platform for people to get back value. Right. There's people that came to the event, like that came to speak, that charges thousands of dollars that come to this event.
Wow.
And they're like, hey, Curtis, you know what? I do charge X amount of dollars, but you know what? I want to come speak off the humble because I like what you're doing. So it comes back. And then people that come to these events are like, oh my God, Curtis, this person was speaking at this conference over there. I had to fly out to come see him, and you have him right here.
He's right here.
And he's right here. So it does come back tenfold.
Even the last event, the last one that you did, you and I ran into you at the Malik Yoba event when he was there for 2 days down by the bridge. And then the last event you did, I saw him at your event.
Yep. Just to show love.
Show love.
Just to show love.
So that's what, guys, you always need to understand that everything isn't always about, let me charge you this, let me charge you that. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing something if you're being genuine about something and it's from the bottom of your heart, it's always going to come back to you when you least expect it. Even with with just real estate in general and just going to networking events, you could be having the worst day in whatever. You just lost 2 or 3 deals. But now you go to Curtis's event, you're telling somebody about the deals that you just lost, but then you have these buyers now that are still looking for something.
Yep.
You talk to other people there, you can put another deal together while you're at the mixer. And I've seen this personally happen at just a lot of networking events, which is why it's really important for you guys to network, because just going to a lot of different events, you're gonna meet a lot of different agents, and if you're always working with buyers and sellers, there's always a conversation to be had.
I always tell people that all the time. You just never know.
If you can speak on that.
Yeah. Well, I tell people all the time with networking, man, for you to be effective at these networking events, you got to add value. And the way you add value is sharing your information or sharing your experience with somebody that's coming up or somebody that's on the other side of it. So if you see a buyer there at a networking event, you could share them your insight, hey, the do's and don'ts. And that might resonate to them, and they might, guess what, you know what? They might want to work with you now.
With you.
Yep, because of what you gave them, the value.
Yeah. Everything, I think, for whatever we do, because you have so many agents. Just in Long Island, I think in itself, we have like almost 40,000 agents.
In Long Island?
Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's a lot.
everybody knows somebody that does real estate. You have people that do it to the highest levels. You have people that do it to the lowest levels, and people can't differentiate who's who. But when you're bringing some sort of value to somebody, when you're having a conversation and you are knowledgeable about what you're talking about,
Right.
and you can bring some sort of value, people are always going to remember that. And that's what I try to tell people all the time. They're always going to remember that.
People remember they don't remember what people. It's not about what you say, but how you made them
How you made them feel, right?
Yeah, and
Nice.
and a lot of people that come to these events, they know how they feel when they come to these events. They encourage, they feel welcome, they feel like, you know what, they got value. You know
Right.
what, I'm never going to forget this.
Right.
And guess what? When they're ready to buy that house, or you know what, they have somebody that's looking to buy a house in Brooklyn, I get that referral from
Nice.
agents, bankers, attorneys,
Nice.
everybody.
Nice. And I also saw that you did an event. You did something with Porsche.
Right. So
I was actually we were in Miami celebrating his 21st birthday. I'm so mad that
wow.
we missed it, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I wanted you to talk about that. How did that come about?
So cool thing. So another thing that I do also, I do lifestyle events. So what I do now is, instead of the networking events once a month, I curate lifestyle events at different venues that have, you know, a service or a product. So like one of my last events was the Porsche event. So I made a cool connection with the manager there.
Nice.
They seen the events that I've done, and we collaborated where I could bring my agents and real estate professionals, bankers, and attorneys, anybody that's in the real estate field. We could come to the showroom and see like the 2023 Porsches,
Nice.
the new ones,
Nice.
to showcase them, and over drinks and have some food and have some music,
Nice.
and just create like an atmosphere where we could just socialize and see some nice, pretty cool, and see some cool cars.
Of course. I mean, we all know as real estate agents, we all love the cool cars. I'm a car nut myself.
Yeah.
So, like I said, if I wasn't in Miami, I would have been right there because, for us, we love the cool cars.
Yeah.
We love to own those cool cars, and we just love, like you said, just to be around the environment.
Yeah, and just also the environment as well. Also too, I also do other events at like Cologne.
I saw that you did that too. I saw you
at
posted
Bar
something.
9. I did
Nice.
one at Bar 9.
Nice.
So that also was a really cool atmosphere to be around because it was at Bar 9 Street in Soho.
Nice.
So they closed the store down. We had some food. We was able to test out the new fragrances and
Nice.
new colognes, and just create a vibe.
Nice.
Just different atmosphere, different locations.
Nice.
I did one.
You did something else with us? With you guys did something with a tailor or something, I think I saw?
Right. So there was this tailor that does my suits. His name is Philip Taylor. We was trying to sell a penthouse in Midtown. So what they did was, is one of my colleagues
Right.
at Corcoran. He has a penthouse he was trying to sell, and what we did was we did an event at the penthouse,
Nice.
and we did a showroom of his with the tailor that does my stuff.
Right.
So his work was there, and we brought
Nice.
a few agents, a few brokers to come
Nice.
out into network.
Nice.
So it's just different atmospheres, and you just never know who's going to show up to those
That's
places
true.
too.
That's true. But with everything that you have going on, how do you find the time to balance the real estate, the lifestyle mixes, the other just everything that you're doing? How do you find the time?
So I really dedicate a lot of my time to my calendar and my phone. So if it's not in my calendar,
It doesn't exist?
exist. So if I
You guys hear that?
Yeah. So I live and die by my calendar. So if I meet with somebody, or if I'm gonna put an event out, I have to look at my calendar and just see it if it makes sense. And if it makes sense, I'll speak to my assistant, and if it's a go, we lock it in.
Nice.
But it has to, everything has to be mapped out in my calendar because I do have to set time for my family.
Of course.
Health, play ball a little
Of course.
bit, try to.
Right.
Play ball a little bit,
Right.
go out, because I think work balance and life balance is important because people could see that and you don't want to run on fumes. You want to live
definitely
healthy,
don't.
you want to feel young. You also want to be, also need time for creativity so, the
So that
mind
you could be at your
think,
best.
Be at my best, yep.
Nice.
But it does get overwhelming though.
Yeah. Well, I can kind of figure. Listen, when we come from Caribbean descent, my parents are Nigerian.
really? From- okay.
Yeah. So I think just in that they've instilled certain values and certain work ethics, and and just us in general. So we're kind of used to always doing something.
We're always on the go. We always
Yeah.
have to do something, but we got to find that balance, man.
Yeah.
But once we find that balance, sky's the limit because you allow yourself to grow because you still got to grow as a person as
Yeah.
well.
Listen, I struggle with that every single day.
We all struggle, yeah.
And I'm 21 years in the business and I still haven't figured it out. So for me, I always love talking to people that are younger than me because they kind of they figured it out a little bit quicker. You know, for us,
Well, with technology, right?
with technology, but
Apps.
you think about it, you know, when we were starting off, you know, there was no social media.
Right.
21 years ago, there was no, just a lot of the stuff that you guys have just to be a little bit more organized, we didn't have. You only knew one way. But it's like the older you get, and just to stay in the business, to be able to stay fresh, you have to keep an open mind, and you have to be around.
You gotta be around him.
Well, I got to be around him.
gotta
That's
be
why.
around this guy.
That's why I keep him around. I love this kid to death. But you know, you keep people that are younger than you around so
Yes,
that they can help
correct.
show you another angle. They can help
Correct.
show you another way
That's the
because
only
they
way to
figure
grow.
things out just a little bit quicker than we do. Yeah.
Because you gotta understand, you know, different youths in different eras, they grew up with, you know, the technology. And remember, we didn't grow up on technology. So
no.
remember, you got kids, you know, infants waking up with tablets in their phones.
It's true.
You know, they
Well, we were going
they
out
know
with our
more
parents.
passwords than us.
Yeah, we had books that we took on trips. Now they got tablets, like you said,
I know,
and all
see,
sorts of
we
things.
don't see a
I
book.
didn't have that. We didn't have that.
So it's like, you know, getting closer to the youth and just embracing that. I mean, that's the only way you can win,
Right.
honestly. You got,
Right.
you know, just to make the steps easier.
Easier
or
for
to-
yourself.
Right, you have to.
Nice.
Yep.
How many people do you have on your team that you're working with right now to help you
Yeah.
navigate and do the things you
I
do
got
every day?
1, 2, 3. I got like three.
Nice.
Yep, marketing. I got one for marketing. I got one for emails, and I got one for my, you know, my assistant for my calendar.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's tough, man. But for you to grow, you know, you have to allocate different jobs and tasks to certain people because, you know, you still got to continue doing your events. You still got to close deals.
Right.
And that's the only way you got to keep things in motion.
Right.
You said you just got your broker's license a few months ago. Do you ever think that maybe you'll do like a team or something like that so you could focus more on like the events and?
I do want to create a team. It's just that, like he said, you have to find the right people, and you just have to take the time out for that to actually sit down there and go through, like, not a vetting process, but like take the time out to actually train and show people. And at this point, I'm not at that point. Maybe what I could do is if I get my assistant get their license and then have them show
them the ropes.
Right. I'll do
Yeah.
it. But right
Because
now
for me, it's
super hard.
it's hard, and like you said, you know, like for somebody like myself, like I'm a control freak, so to let go of certain things or certain
Right,
responsibilities,
micromanaging.
I struggle with that.
And that's how you have to elevate. You
Right.
have to you have to let go of that micro.
Let it go, right?
Yeah. It was
But you
hard
know
for
what?
me too.
You know what the problem is for somebody like yourself. Everybody knows Curtis Quail. Now, when you handed something off to somebody, you need them to handle it the way that you're going to handle it.
Right.
And now, if you feel like they're kind of half-stepping it or half-assing it, you want to kind of take it back because you feel like at the end of the day, it's your name behind it.
Which I have done before. And
Right.
but that's the only way you could grow because
That's
now
true.
once you find that person that kind of like could think like you,
A
move
mirror,
like you,
right.
mirror you, then okay, cool, it was worth it. But you have to probably go through a few. I want to say, I would not say bad, but just people that
You have to
not-
go through the experience.
people that's not on the same page, and you
Right.
have to go through that. But once you go through it, you feel, oh, you know what? Oh yeah, you know what? This person's work. Okay, yeah, this person could stay.
Nice.
And you just keep it rolling.
Nice.
Yeah, but you have to let go of that micromanager. Yeah. It's tough.
I struggle with that, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, I can tell everybody listening that's, you know, we all struggle with different things. You know, like you said, when you're trying to balance family life, your work life, everything else that you're doing, you know, like you said, there always has to be some sort of balance and
To expand, you have to do that.
to expand. Yeah. What else do you have going on that you want to talk to the people about?
So, one thing I have been working on is I am about to team up with 500 Black Men. We're about to do a huge business conference Saturday, September 23rd.
Nice.
We're collaborating with them. So
Nice.
they do their annual Black Man's Brunch. So we're collaborating together because I'm gonna be organizing the business side of it.
Nice.
So it's gonna be a full day.
Nice.
So that month for the mixer, we're gonna do it collaborating with them.
Okay.
It's gonna be a full-blown experience.
Nice.
So it's gonna be a huge networking experience.
September 23rd.
Saturday, September 23rd.
Lock
Yeah.
that date in, folks.
Lock that
'Cause I
in.
definitely will be there too.
Yep, we're gonna have tickets for sale. If you want to be a vendor, we're gonna have vendor prices. If you want to, if you want that opportunity, feel free to come by.
Where's that going to be at? Where you guys having it? Do you know
We're
yet?
gonna have it. It's gonna be in Brooklyn. It's gonna be at I don't remember the venue. It's on Bedford Avenue and Eastern Parkway. It's a huge armory,
Okay.
a big armory.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Bedford and Eastern Parkway. I know exactly where that is. Okay. Great location.
Yeah.
You're not too far from the, what do you call it? From the library, from Grand Avenue Plaza.
Nope, right down the block.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that's gonna be a huge event. I want a lot of people to come out because we're gonna have a lot of politicians there, a lot of celebrities gonna be there. That's gonna talk about like the tech business. A lot of developers are gonna be there. So you definitely want to be in that room, September 23rd.
23rd. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And besides the mixer, like I said, what else do you? And the mixer is once a month, folks.
The mixer
Make
is
sure
once
you go.
a month, yeah.
Just like Curtis said, you're one deal away from, or one conversation away from your next deal. You know, you can walk into that room. You have attorneys there. You have other real estate agents there. You have agents that do business in Brooklyn. You have agents that do business in Queens. You have agents that do business in Long Island. I even met a couple of people at your last event that came down from Philly. So you can always meet somebody in a lot of different areas. You don't always have to be the expert in every single area, but you team up with the right person, somebody who's like-minded, and you can always, it's another way for you to grow your business. It's another way for you to, if you have somebody that's looking in an area that you don't personally handle, you can hand that off to that other person. As long as that person has that same work ethic and that same integrity as you, you know, you have to come to these events because it's really important.
Yeah, you got to work smart. I tell people, you know, as a broker, as an agent, you know, you're not limited to the deals that you could do. However, you could refer deals out. So if you know, I met so many agents that came to the mixer from the DMV area that said, "Hey Curtis, I have a client looking for a condo in Brooklyn. Could you help me?" Sure, send over the referral.
Right.
I have people that are in Maryland that was looking for houses, and I refer the deal out. I don't have to go chase it.
Right.
I just put it in the hands of an agent
who I
think is reliable and credible.
Right.
And guess what, Curtis? We closed. Here's your check.
Nice.
Simple as that.
Nice.
You know.
Nice.
The next mixer is going to be Thursday, July 27th.
July 27th.
Yep.
Okay.
So just mark that in your calendar.
Nice.
Thursday, July 27th.
Nice. A lot of great drinks there, folks. A lot of great food. A lot of great networking. Don't come just to drink. All right. Have one drink maybe, but make sure you picking up all the jewels. There's a lot of great information that's being passed around there. A lot of great speakers and just a overall great event. I mean, we've all gone through a bunch of different networking events, and you know, some, like I said, can be good and some not so good. But Curtis's events, I mean, listen, you hear people talk about it. When people are coming down from the DMV area, that right there should tell you guys everything that you need to know.
Yeah, man. I just tell people, man, listen, come and have a good time. Don't be shy. We tell everybody we're here to have fun, to give each other value, and also, you know, share resources.
Right.
So.
And you always tell everybody to make sure that they hand out at least 30 cards. Get at least 30.
So now that it's digital, right? So collect 10 to 15 cards and at least scan, you know, with what is it called?
The QR thing.
The QR code.
Yeah.
So between the QR code and the business card, you should leave out with at least 30 contacts, at least.
Yeah.
And follow up.
Follow up is the most. That's one of the most important.
The most important thing I tell people all the time is, like, when you come to these events, don't just take a card and just leave it in your desk or in your pocket. Please, when you get these cards or these contacts, call them people the next day. Call, text, email. I always tell people that. Call, text, email, because everybody's communication response is different.
It's different.
You know, some people respond to text quicker, some people respond to calls or email. So grab the contacts the next day, do a follow-up, and see where it takes you.
Curtis definitely said it best. I mean, the follow-up is everything. You know, him and I, like I said, we ran into each other at an event. You know, I love what he's doing. I respect what he's doing. And for me, folks, just like Curtis, he thinks the same way that I do. Collaboration is a lot better than competition. Yes, we're both real estate agents and we're both in the business, but it's very easy for him and I to do a deal together. It's very easy for him and I to have conversations about a lot of different things. You know, I had to follow up with him just so that, you know, we can actually sit here and do this. But a lot of that had to do with the fact of him seeing what I was doing, me seeing what he was doing, and us, you know, basically respecting each other.
Correct.
And not looking at each other as competition. Because at the end of the day, folks, there's enough light here for everybody. There's enough out here for everybody to eat. You know, as long as you're doing business the right way, there's always going to be enough for everybody, every single time.
I refer deals all the time. Like, I just referred a deal. One of my college friends, she lives in Long Island. She said, "Hey, Curtis, I see you doing your thing in Brooklyn. You know, can you help me find a house?" I said, "Where?" She said, "Long Island." I said, "You know what? I'm not a specialist in Long Island, but I got somebody for you, and I took my time, and
and you vetted it, and you partnered with the right person. Yeah, I try to tell people that all the time. I just sent a referral out to somebody in Jersey. I'm working on my Jersey license, but I don't have it right now at the moment. So do I hold on to it and wait till I do that? It's not smart. You know, at the end of the day, it's not about you folks.
It's not about you. Yep.
It's about the clients. It's about the people that you're working with. You always want to try to do what's best for them. I never want to do a disservice to the person that I'm working with. You know, if it's not an area that I specialize in, let me get somebody that does specialize in.
Yeah, and you look like the winner because you took your time out and you weren't selfish about it. So you even look better. Because it's like you're putting them in the hands of somebody that's going to actually take their time.
Yeah.
Instead of you trying to figure it out and have that person sitting
on silence,
waiting.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, nice. And what does your brother do? Is he also in real estate?
No. My brother, he works for the city.
Okay.
As a caseworker.
Nice. A lot of great connections there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I used to work for the city.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, back in the day,
nice.
Long time ago.
Nice. Is that what you did before you did real estate?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So what made you get into real estate?
When I bought my first house, I just saw the way the broker, he showed me like 3 houses. He was driving a nice car, showed me 3 houses.
Yeah, the real estate starter kit, folks.
Right.
Me and Jermaine, we joke about that too. Shout out to my guy, Jermaine Miller. The real estate starter kit, you know, the watch, the nice belt, the nice car.
He had everything. And literally, I mean, I was his best client because he showed me 3 houses and I took like the second one. I said, nope, I don't want to see no more. That's the one I want. That's it. He was like, really?
Beyond easy.
Beyond easy.
Wow.
So.
Well, you knew what you wanted.
I knew what I wanted. I just wanted a house.
Right.
I was like, I'm 26 years old. I got pre-approved. I just want a house. I don't care. I need a house. I'm gonna live in my basement. I'm gonna rent it out. I just told myself I wanted to get a house.
Nice.
And he showed me 3 houses. I liked it. When we at the closing table, I saw his check. I was like, yo, you only showed me 3 houses. You got a check for? Nah, I gotta do this.
I gotta do this.
Okay, I gotta get on this. Gotta get on this. And it just took off from there.
It took off from there.
Yeah, it just took off from there.
Everybody has a different reason for getting into the business.
But
folks.
The way I started was, I was working part-time as a realtor first at Douglas Elliman.
Right.
And I was still working for the city.
Right.
And what I did, I mean, obviously I was still living in my house, you know, I don't want to say rent-free, but just, you know, my mortgage was being covered.
Well, you were smart when you bought your house. Let's not sugarcoat that or pass it.
Right.
He had an agenda getting into buying his first house.
Right.
He got the house. He didn't need anything too fancy. He stayed in the basement and house hacked. And let them basically pay his mortgage, folks.
Right.
If you're in a position you can do the same thing, I would suggest that you do it all day long.
I mean, the basement wasn't that great, but you know what? We had a stove.
You had a bigger picture. You were thinking you were playing long game.
Right. So I was like, hey, listen, I ain't have like a huge living room. It was a 2-bedroom in the basement. We had a nice little living room, nice little kitchen, bathroom. It was good.
You had your own. They knew it was yours.
It was good, right.
Nice.
I didn't have to pay. I didn't come out of my pocket.
Nice.
I'm living it for free.
Nice.
So I said, you know what? Let me get into real estate part-time. I was still working for the city. I stacked some more bread up. After
Smart.
like 2 years, I had like 2 years of reserves.
Nice.
I quit the city job. I did that full-time, and I ain't looked back since.
You had a good amount of reserves. I mean, because normally when we're talking about it, we tell people to jump into the business, either a year, like 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
At least 6 months. The fact that you had 2, you were really ahead of the game. Well, you were smart.
Yeah. I had a daughter, so I had to make sure that I had to have some type of just in case.
How are you as far as I guess managing risks and calculations? Are you more of a risk taker, or
I'm a risk
calculate?
Taker.
Okay.
I'm a risk taker.
You are. You're just like me.
I'm a risk taker.
I'm the same way.
I'm learning to balance myself out now because, I mean, I lost a lot of money with a lot of businesses, but I don't regret it because I met a lot of amazing people.
And you got the experience.
And I got the experience. So the risk taking definitely took me to the next level.
Right.
I do sometimes, I don't regret it, but I could have like, you know what, I could have been a little patient right here. Or you know what, I shouldn't have been that impulsive right there.
Right.
But overall, I do like that I was taking a lot of risks. But I met a few amazing people through the journey.
Nice.
Through it, yeah.
Nice. So your goal, like you said, I guess in the beginning, getting into the business, besides seeing your realtor's check, the other thing was, I guess, wanting to do this full time. I would say, to change people's lives, or to help? What would you say?
I want to show people that, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you could be a homeowner as well, but you got to be smart with it.
Right.
Also, I wanted to show people that, you know, it's all about owning your own, because at the end of the day, mortgage comes down, rent always goes up.
Every single time.
Always. It always works that pendulum, because no matter what, 10 years, 5 years from now, whatever the rent is, it's not going to be the same. We're not going to have another pandemic.
Right.
You know, that's the only time I saw when I seen rent reduce. That was the first time ever. I've never seen that in my life.
Right.
So I think you want to get on the other side where you're owning your own property, and you're kind of like manage it yourself, and then you can manage your time, because when you get older, when you get in your 50s and your 60s and you have to live on security, how you be paying that market rent?
Yeah.
That market rent is gonna be crazy by the time you turn 50, 60 years old.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
So it's like, why wouldn't you want to have your own property now that when you have that Social Security check or your income coming in, you can spend it on something else? You know, or updates.
Because you're still
house.
comfortable because of what you did with buying your own house and being able to control your own narrative.
Control your own narrative. Yeah. And also too, another reason why I got into real estate too is because of the flexibility of my time.
Yes,
like I was fortunate to have a strong family base.
Nice.
Where they helped me raise my daughter.
Nice.
And she got into basketball, so I was like, you know what, real estate will also allow me to go to her games,
right.
Go to practices.
Right.
I could work out with her.
Right.
So I got that time, that quality time.
Nice.
So as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that, you can't put a dollar amount on that time, just like for me, the same thing. I got into the business. I wanted to have the upper hand when I decided that I wanted to buy a house, which I bought and closed on 3 months after I got licensed. But then also to be able to spend time with my kids.
That's super important.
Because, a lot of people don't understand that, you can have kids and you have good parents that are always with their children, and you have other parents that, for just a whole bunch of other reasons, that you always have to drop your children off somewhere because you got to go to work and you have to do all these different things. So it's not easy.
Yeah, and like for me, like my mom, she been working for 25 plus years, and like no knock to her, she has to hustle. She has to work. She's a great mom,
right.
But she wasn't able to give me the experience that I needed as a kid, like going to my basketball games, taking me to AAU.
I don't think a lot of our parents did. I don't think that they knew any better. They just did whatever they, right?
They didn't know any better. So me being that next generation and me having those opportunities now, okay, you know what? I could change the narrative for my family.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I could be the first homeowner at a young age and, get into real estate. Now I could spend time with my family. I could take my mom over here. I could fly over here, go watch my daughter. I could watch all her college games if I want to.
Nice.
Nice. Because I have the
you have the time and the flexibility.
Nice. So I'm changing the narrative in my household.
Nice.
And my mom is happy for that. She's like, Curtis, honestly, if you could do real estate and you could, be an entrepreneur, go ahead. Don't do a 9 to 5.
Right.
And my mom encourages me.
Nice.
Encourages that.
Nice.
So
which is good, because you have a lot of parents that don't. They'll tell you work. They'll tell you go to school, get an education,
right,
and then get a job.
Yeah. I was very fortunate. My mom was very open-minded.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing. But I mean, it goes back to just what we were saying before. They can only teach us what they know because that's the only way that they know.
And that's okay.
Right. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with it. I think just for us, as we're coming up, we take the information that they give us and we take it up a notch, and that we now share the same thing with our kids. And that's what we let them. We pass it on. We let them take it up to another level.
Yeah. Like my mom, like she was happy. Like one of the things my mom wanted for like, before she retired, like, hey Curtis, can you just redo my basement over? I closed a check like a couple months ago, and I said, Mom, let's get the basement done. Redid her whole entire basement.
Nice.
Easy. Just like she didn't have to worry about it.
Nice.
She didn't have to worry. It's just like done. Just get it done.
Nice.
So it's like,
and I'm sure that look on her face is
because it's priceless.
It's priceless.
It's priceless. So it's like, for you to give back to your parents and to show them, like, listen,
I appreciate what you did.
I appreciate what you did.
And it wasn't in vain.
Wasn't in vain. It's like, I love those feelings.
Nice.
My daughter, she wanted a car, got her a car.
Nice.
So it's like, you want to change, and I want to keep that going.
Yes. But that's why we do what we do, right?
Yeah. That's why we need more buyers.
We need more buyers. We need more sellers. So you're looking to sell, you're looking to buy. Listen, you can reach out to any one of us. We're all here to help. Any last words, anything you want to plug? I know the mixer, July 27th?
Yeah, so the next mixer is Thursday, July 27th. Our big business expo is going to be Saturday, September 23rd in Brooklyn. Follow us on Instagram, Curtis Quail, the NYREM Mixer. And listen, like I told you, you're one contact away from your next deal. You never know who you're gonna meet. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to meet new people. Point
Nice.
blank, period.
Definitely follow this man. He has a lot of different things going on, and you guys know I'm only going to promote anybody that I see that's doing anything positive, that's doing anything that's a respectable person. I mean, we see a lot of different things on a lot of different pages, and we're not here for any of that. I'm only going to promote anybody that I see that I have a lot of respect for. I see what they're doing. I appreciate what they're doing. Somebody that I can learn from myself. Definitely follow this man. He has a lot going on, and sky's the limit for him.
Man, thank you, man. And I like those kicks, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it. Anybody that, if you're looking to buy or sell, reach out to either myself or my son, 917-337-3727. We handle Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island. If you're behind on your mortgage, definitely reach out to me. You know, I can put you in contact with a bunch of different people. Definitely hit up Curtis too. You know, this guy's doing everything from Manhattan to
Brooklyn. I'll keep it right there.
Okay, we'll keep it right there. Okay. And JL?
My number is 506-662-6824. You can find me on Instagram at Family Realtor.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Stay safe.
Take care.